Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to another edition of the Mid-Morning Buzz here. Classic Radio GBN TV. With me this morning, I have Miss Gail Purcell this morning, National Celebrations Committee. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I find you look exhausted.
Doesn't show that much. And we're not even at February 7th.
I know lots have happened over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
You know, we talk in the semi-final round of the Calypso competition. We had the gospel concert yesterday.
With the Youth Symposium on Friday. Yeah.
And then lots more to come.
Yes.
Lots more to come. This is just like, it's not even a build-up yet, you know. It's just things are just happening. You understand? How's everything going?
Well, we've, as you said, we've kicked off the major activity now. That started on Friday, the 19th, with the Youth Symposium. And it's been, I think, been going very well. We had probably about 300 young people at the Youth Symposium at the Radisson on Friday. And they participated in inspiring discussion and dialogue and really got into it and really, I think, started to lay a framework for where they can under the ambit of the theme I Can. Yeah. It's a program within the Ministry of Youth that we use to launch off as part of this symposium.
So it still shows that Grenada is in good hands with young people coming
Absolutely. They were so impressive.
Yeah.
They're really, really, our young people are really, they're inspiring. You know, there's lots there. They have lots of energy, have lots of ideas, and they're our future. So we need to spend the time, hear from them. Yeah. You know, hear from them what they think their path should be, and how, as policymakers, decision makers, you can guide that and formulate what's going to be necessary going forward.
As young people, they do have ideas that sometimes can fit into our everyday life.
Well, they do.
You will see it from the youngest child these days. May tell you something as an adult, and you said, "I never thought of it." I mean, I've never thought of it. So we have much more coming up. The beautification continues.
Yeah, all over the island. Yes. I mean, GT, I know you're a resident of River Road, but I'm telling you, River Road blew me away over the weekend. I drive through there regularly. Saturday morning, I saw things starting just under the rock edge there coming as you come out of Decall, and I noticed that they'd planted some plants and flowers and things coming along. And I saw people kind of working. But then Sunday I came back and it was completely
transformed.
This is what you call transformation. I mean, I was so impressed to see the number, as we were talking about young people, the number of young people involved in the cleanup and the painting. I mean, they were probably as young as 10 years old, some of them.
Some of them around that age.
Yeah.
8, 9, going around that age.
And it was quite a handful, you know, a good number of them.
And they could have hold their
brush and painting. And it totally took me off guard. And the amount of things that happened, seemingly, it felt like overnight.
So true.
You know, culverts were implanted.
All that happened in a space of a couple hours.
Yeah.
In a couple hours.
Plants were all things in areas that were looking not that appealing before. Plants were put down, nutmeg shells put down, culverts with plants. I was completely impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to see that too. I mean, being part of it myself, started off with just initially 4 of us started the morning, you know, and it has got to the stage where we had at least 50 to 100 people coming out and putting a hand. Everybody gave a couple of minutes, and it certainly went along.
Yeah, well, hats off to the River Road community. Job well done. And I know that's the one I saw in person, but I know it's not the only effort.
I mean, it continues around the island.
Yes, it's certainly going on around the island. I saw evidence of it in St. John, continuation in Grand Anse, and that's just where my path takes me. So I know all over the island, different pockets and communities are really coming out. And what I like, and that's the direction we're thankful that communities are taking. It's things that can have some longevity to it.
Yeah.
So not just, we know we
not just
love,
an independence thing and
not just
forget
an
it.
independence colors, but
Yeah.
really how can we uplift our community so that it's sustainable? And I think that's the direction we want to be moving in.
And you said that. I was speaking to Miss Alexis. Was it on Friday of last week?
Yes.
And she did mention that.
Yeah.
We want the kind of beautification that would for the long haul.
Yes.
That will surpass not only for the year of activities we have it for our 50th anniversary.
Yes.
But 5 years from now, because this was done around that particular time, and it's been sustained until.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely. So we're encouraging communities to continue the beautification. And I'm certain, as a resident, you feel better moving out of your home on a morning and seeing.
Usually that particular area was an eyesore for a bit.
Yeah.
It was an eyesore for a bit. And I was happy with the decision I was made to transform it in that particular way.
Right.
I know all it needs about is a maintenance part of
That's
it.
right.
Keep it maintained, and it should be that way for a long time to come.
And I think when it's done by the community takes ownership for it.
So true. So true.
Hats off to all of the communities that are out there doing their thing, and we're really, really pleased with what we're seeing.
Everybody's now getting into that spirit of our 50th anniversary.
Yes.
That spirit, the spirit you feel that you're feeling the momentum is flowing through right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
it definitely is. We had a bumper weekend.
Yep.
As we said, we would have started off with the youth conference on Friday, which was really fantastic. I think the young people left there feeling inspired and energized and really themselves part of the independence process, that this was their space that was carved out particularly for them. So I'm happy that they made the most of it and really engaged.
All right.
We had some really good speakers, and they were all local young entrepreneurs or young people doing great things. So we were really happy to have them part of the
I like that aspect of it, of course, letting Grenadians ourselves speak for ourselves.
Yeah.
And not having a featured speaker being from another island speaking to us. Because we have our own thoughts and ideas of our own to bring forward. And I would love that that particular aspect to be maintained through the entire celebration. Yes, we like to bring in a couple or two. They may have something, but keeping it totally Grenadian is what I would always indulge to see for myself. Let's hear what we have to offer for ourselves. That will certainly make me so happy. So we got lots more coming up. We just touching the iceberg, tip of the iceberg, or some more we say, in terms of happening. So we had the semi-final round for the Calypso competition that wrapped up on Saturday. And we have the list of finalists now.
I'm just pulling up the list of finalists. Our 9 finalists went through. It was a great show.
Yes.
I hope, even if you didn't get to take it in yet, that you.
I will review it. I didn't get to watch it on Saturday night, but I will review it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, could do it later on. Take a peek at it and see what it's like.
It was well attended.
Come up with my own 9. Maybe I have a different 9. That's what the judges selected. But as I say, the judges' decision is final.
It was well attended, and I want to say kudos to the Calypsonians who participated from preliminary right to the semifinals. I think the quality of music was good.
All right.
I could see that the audience was engaged in the music. Even if for some of them they may have heard the song for the first time, but you could see that people responded. They responded to the message. They responded to the rhythm. So it was a
positive feedback for the artists.
Yeah. So I think even if they did not make it through to the final round, I think that what was displayed on Saturday was certainly a high caliber. And
there's always that saying that the semi-final round is always a better round for some people.
Yeah, because you
hear more songs for one.
Yes.
Than the final. You understand? There's always a better 1 to 10.
And just because you don't make it through to the final doesn't mean that you didn't have a high quality entrance. That you could have missed that by 1 point.
A point. Even some folks have won competition by a half a point.
Yeah. So it's certainly making it to the semifinals a big credit. And, and I congratulate all of them. But we do have 9 finalists going through, coming up against our existing monarch, Nivian Cox. So the 9 finalists going through is Teacher Eddie, Scholar, Big J, Superstar, Papa Jerry, Katura, Baraka, Prince, and Sour Serpent.
All right, great. Then they become up against Nivian, and he's hoping to retain his title again.
Yeah.
And we see they have some, of course, regular guns in there.
Of course.
Of course, they're coming to do their thing. So we await the finals.
Yes.
And it takes place on the 27th, right? If I'm right about it.
27th, yeah, 27th, which is Saturday.
Saturday coming. So that takes place at the Sutter's Bus Terminus. Great. What we go from there?
Where do we go from there in terms of events?
In terms of events.
The very next day, we are going to be kicking off our quadrathlon flag relay, which will be taking us around the island.
All right.
And that's going to kick off again in St. Patrick at Mount Craven Junction there. And it's going to, the running leg, it's a quadrathlon, so it involves 4 disciplines.
All right.
It's a running leg, a sailing leg, a swimming leg, and a cycling leg.
Okay.
And it's going to end up in St. Andrew.
All right. St. Patrick to St. Andrew.
That's right.
All right.
Coming down the west coast and then around the south and back up the east coast.
That's an interesting route, right?
It is. It's a first that something like this has been put on at stage, so we're looking forward to it. The running starts off first, and they're going to run down in road relay style, so they're going to tag off runners along the way.
Okay.
And
so it's not going to be like one individual.
It's not one individual running all the way down.
Okay, great.
And they will tag off their runners throughout that route, and that they're going to take off from Dragon's Bay area, where they will tag into the sailing.
All right.
And the sailors are going to then sail down to the Carenage by the financial complex area.
Another group takes over.
And the swimming will take over at the Cross Harbor from there to Grand Anse Beach.
All right.
And then, as they come out of the water, they will tag off onto the cyclists who will take it for the final leg, and they too will be doing a relay similar to the road race.
Okay, so they get to a point, another group takes over,
one will take
get
off.
to the final, final destination.
Yeah.
Great.
So what we're asking, the teams have been composed of individuals who are already runners and swimmers and cyclists and sailors, and there are a few groups that are still looking for some entrants. I think in the swimming group we still need a few more people, but you have to be already a well-versed swimmer to be able to.
You don't want to do a first-timer get into this.
You
don't want to be a first-timer.
you have to be a well-versed swimmer.
I mean, you have to start somewhere, but you don't want to be a first-timer.
It's not to start with the Cross Harbor. But if you are a well-versed swimmer and you're interested in being part of that, you can contact the Swimming Association, GASA, and register to be part of the contingent. And from there, when the race they conclude up at the top with the cycling, as we had said before. But we're asking people to come out and line the streets and look out for come out and line the streets. And be there at the beginning. They're going to kick off by 8 a.m. With the running leg. And as they run through that part of St. Patrick onto St. Mark and into St. John, we want people out on the street. We want people cheering them on, to look out for them. They'll be running in different colors representing different parishes, and just cheer them on. Yeah,
it builds your momentum too as a partaking in the event, and you get that cheer on and so forth. It builds your motivation. You never know. Of course,
you could be there at the kickoff for the sailing leg, and as they get started, I mean, they'll be out in the water, granted, of course, and then they'll come in, and we can cheer the swimmers on as they go there and be there to receive them on Grand Anne's side.
All right.
And of course, when the cyclists are going through from St. George to St. David and on to St. Andrew, we want people lining the street and just checking it out.
Yeah. Great. I mean, activities like that, of course, we never had that particular one before. We always know about the triathlon and so taking place, but never have it in that aspect. It should be interesting. It should be interesting.
Most definitely.
Where we go from there?
So when we wrap that up on Sunday, we have on the 30th, we have the launch of the Independence Historical and Art Exhibition. That's going to be happening at the Grenada Olympic Committee.
I did speak to Ananda about that sometime last week. We did speak about that. She was highly anticipating, of course, with the amount of entries that she have received thus far, and she said it's certainly going to be an interesting.
I think so. You know, I think, and it's really been Creative Affairs has taken on the charge for that event. So they're really steeped in it right now, and we're looking forward to it being, we're trying to give some balance in terms of the types of activities that we touch as many different areas that,
It's our 50th, so you don't want to be doing the norm.
You don't just want to be doing one type of event. That there has to be variety in the types of events. So that hits our creatives. gives an opportunity to highlight and put on a pedestal of our art creation and everything else, and the historical context for that. So that is definitely something to look forward to.
All right. And then we're moving to All Things Grenada 50th in the Independence Expo.
Yeah. That's going to be happening on the Carnage on the 2nd.
Yes.
And the 2nd, we're going to line the Carnage with all of our artisans and vendors and people with all great things that are made in Grenada or displaying Grenada, and we're really looking for that's an opportunity. I know we're starting to get a lot of visitors on island.
Yep.
Can I call them all visitors or returning residents?
Yeah, Grenadians coming back home.
Grenadians coming back home, and they want to take back things that are, Grenadian, and I think we've had a lot of people who are doing some great things out there, from candle making to soaps to all kinds of stuff, body care.
And sometimes we don't know that these things are made locally. And that's interesting.
Jewelry, there are a lot of people doing really nice stuff with jewelry. I came across the other day handmade paper made out of variety of natural products. So all those kinds of things are really...
I actually run into someone the other day in one of the malls who was actually making deodorant.
Yes.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
She told me, and it's all natural. And natural and everything. I was like, it was really impressive. I happened to bought one from her to as a way of testing it out.
Yeah.
And it's been good thus far.
Mm-hmm. So it's really just exposing us to what is happening here and what our products are, and giving them a platform.
I'm happy that of course the committee that you're part of is taking that particular initiative to showcase what Grenadians are able to of course to do.
Yes.
You understand? Because now we think, well, everything that is in Grenada is all imported.
Yeah.
And there are things that people are doing here locally, and that's good, and it's good quality products.
Good quality stuff. So I think we need to give them a platform. So that's going to happen on the 2nd, and then again on the 7th.
Yes.
In the stadium.
At the stadium. Yes. Yes. I did.
So people will get a chance to also purchase items.
And then we have a major concert coming up once again, also on the 2nd.
Up from here.
Only
up from here. Yeah, up from here. Well, that's our theme song, right?
Yes.
So that is going to be a spectacular showcase at the National Stadium on that night, starting from 8 p.m. It's a full-on curated production. So we have, I think it's about 50. Is it 30 or 50 artists? A lot
of artists.
A lot of artists.
You don't want to give a number right now, because you never know on the day who may ask for give me a little fly on the stage. You never know. Although it's a set program already, but you never know.
It's a set program. It's very well produced. The beginning, the first half of it is a produced program flowing with the artists, and it's going to be a spectacular production.
All right.
It's really exciting because I think it's again one of these opportunities that are very rare, that you get so many of our local talent on stage in a real showcase of what we can do.
So true.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that.
So looking forward to that. It's going to be great.
I'm not going to be seeing you more and more popping in from time to time sharing. Anything that we have missed that you want to highlight? That maybe you should give it a bit of a highlight in this segment.
In this,
I mean, there's so much to highlight about already. We have talked about so much. We of course have there's another interesting thing coming up on the 2nd also. That's the St. George's Northeast Independence Award ceremony.
Yes,
that's another
and I heard you speaking with them earlier.
Yeah, was sometime last week.
They were on this morning as well. Maybe it was on another station.
Probably another station. Probably another station. But they were on sometime last week. They were on sometime last week. We were speaking, of course, to Mr. Was it he used to be
James?
Yes.
Yes. So that's taking place in the Northeast. And I believe they are going to be honoring 50 people in the Northeast in different categories. So that's the kind of organic support and development with the independence celebrations that it's really encouraged, and we're pleased to see that happening.
All right.
Yeah, so it's great. So after Up From Here on the 2nd, it's the 3rd, the Governor General's Gala.
Yes.
And that's the opportunity.
I wonder if I'm invited.
The wonderful thing about this gala is that everybody's invited. everybody's invited. I think sometimes you hear about
the Governor
formal
General
events,
and the formal,
and it's only limited to especially invitees. And this is an opportunity to, as we say, put on your fine dandan.
Kind of mix and mingle.
And come out and everybody wants an opportunity and loves an opportunity to dress up and look spectacular for the night and enjoy themselves. And it's a cocktail event, so you'll be mixing and mingling, and it's also a dance, so it's not just standing around with
you get
a
to
wine
shake those
glass.
legs also, right?
But you get to shake the leg, and we get to all do it in fine style. And I think that's great. Sometimes we have to be casual. Sometimes we have the opportunity to dress up. And I think the Governor General's Gala is that opportunity. It is our only paid event because it's a fundraiser.
All right.
But all other events are free.
And that's something great, because we had the gospel concert yesterday. That was free.
Oh, and I have to go back to the gospel concert.
That was free. You understand?
Yeah. So, but we didn't talk
about
about
Up From
it.
Here coming. That is free.
That is free. And where else would you get a showcase like that for free? So we expect all of Grenada to come out and turn out at all of the events and support it highly. This is our time. This is our celebration. So let's come out together and have a great time together, because we're only 50 once, and 50 is a big deal.
So true. I'm going to jump over some of the events and talk about one in particular, National Colors Day. What's your anticipation for that day?
We've left National Colors Day very open for people to have their own expression and their own opportunities within their workplaces, within their families, within their schools, to really just have a good time. This is just everybody coming out in their colors, expressing it how they think, it's appropriate, and having a really nice time, cooking up pots, sharing food, really all of the things that's indigenous to us as a people. So I think it's going to be fantastic.
I like the idea of it coming just the day before Independence Day. So it kind of blends into the actual Independence Day celebration.
It just rolls in. It builds that momentum and that vibe and that feeling.
And
then we continue the celebrations on the 7th, which, the 7th is going to be spectacular. Spectacular.
All right.
It really, really will. We have I probably over just under 1,000 people will be participating in the staging of that event, between bands,
especially the cultural aspect of it, the cultural show of it. I had a chat with Ricky about it, and he's anticipating being the one who's going to be choreographing the whole thing. And he did speak about it, and he's highly anticipating it himself.
Well, anything Arcadian's hands
anything he puts his hands on, it's perfection.
It's going to be high quality.
There has to be a level of perfection for him to want to do it.
Absolutely, and he's proven himself time and time again, so I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that he can put out a fantastic production, and we expect that and expect nothing less, and of course supported by all of the team that's making it happen, because there are lots of hands behind the scenes. You may hear and see a few voices, but believe me, it's a lot of people doing a lot of things, a lot of people volunteering their time, a lot of people putting in their efforts and their hours and everything else to make this celebration one worthy for our 50th.
After all, it's our 50th anniversary. We may not have another 50th coming anytime soon. But
that you and I may see.
That you and I may see. Well, it's never going to be a 50th again.
No.
Anything is going to be 100.
Right, the next is 100. That's
we will have another 50th. One of the interesting events, before we take a close, I am anticipating Folk in the Town. Another Ricky's, of course, production once again.
Yes.
Folk in the Town. That's going to turn out to be
That's
interesting.
going to be
From the description that he gave me, how the layout and everything, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Again, right in the heart of Melville, right in the heart of St. George's on Melville Street. And that's going to be, we're going to go back in time.
Yep.
So after we've had all the fanfare on the 7th, we're coming back in town, and we're going to kick it back a little bit.
Yeah,
and it's going to be great. But I want to share a little bit about the gospel concert, because I can't be here today.
Go right ahead.
And not talk about that concert yesterday.
You cannot leave anything out but the Almighty.
Yeah.
You cannot leave it out.
Talk about a spirit-filled, moving occasion yesterday. And I was just so thrilled to see the number of people that came out for the event. And I think people were just engaged. The performances, again, from our talent, our local Grenadians, it was just spectacular. It was, bar none. They really they really did a wonderful job, and I think the entire production was well put together. I have to give kudos to Tamika Gilbert, who was the lead on that project, and it was really a well put together program, and to all of the entertainers those who participated, it was fantastic, and I say thank you. To all of them, and thank you to the patrons who came out, and I think everybody had a wonderful time.
I'm certainly happy to hear that. Anything final before we take a wrap? I mean, we have spoken about a whole lot in the last couple of minutes, and we haven't even gone through a lot of the other events that are coming up. I had to skip some before we
absolutely. I'm just encouraging everybody to come out, participate, keep up that cleanup drive. It's been wonderful. And just keep the spirit of independence flying.
Yep.
This is our time. And 50 is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
And we can only be 50 once.
So true. I know that feeling. Anyway, Gail, I want to thank you for popping through once again. Sure. All the best. I know this conversation is going to continue until we get to that point. It's going to be after the independence and all the other celebration activities that are coming up. We're going to have that conversation continue. It's for 1 year.
No. Yes.
It's for 1 year.
Yes.
So thank you once again for being on the Mid-Morning Buzz and sharing information with our listening and viewing audience.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for the Mid-Morning Buzz here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Have a good one, folks. This is where I say goodbye.